For the past few weeks, I have been stuck in a place that I'm going to call the thinking of doing, where you are frozen by all the choices in front of you and you're constantly stuck in hesitation. Every day, I wake up with big plans, my head full of ideas and dreams. But as my mind is vibrating with ideas, my body stays still and time goes by. And I keep telling myself, tomorrow I'll start, tomorrow I'll make the move. But tomorrow just keeps slipping away, turning into another tomorrow and another after that. And I'm just there. I'm wrapped in all the things I want to do, all the things I should do, all the things I need to do, but somehow nothing gets done. I don't know if this is a feeling that you're familiar with, where you wake up every morning with a head full of dreams. Your mind races with all the amazing things you could do today, and you think this is the day. This is the day I'll finally start that project. I'll make that call. But then nothing happens. It's frustrating, it's very frustrating. And I'm here and I'm drowning in my own thoughts, and yet nothing happens. And I'm thinking to myself, girl, how many times have I mapped it all out? How many times have I imagined every step, every word, every outcome? I have played it all out in my head so many times that the actual doing now feels redundant, like it's already happened. But it hasn't. It's all in my mind. It's my mind is like a space where everything is possible, but nothing is real. So if you're familiar with that feeling, I want to ask you, why are you so scared of actually doing something? What are you so afraid of? What am I so afraid of? Is it failure, or is it success, or is it the fear of change, of stepping into the unknown, or is it about leaving the comfort of thinking behind? Because when you're still thinking about it, you haven't exactly failed at it. But to be fair, there are so many what ifs. What if I mess up? What if I let others down? Or even worse, what if I let myself down? What if I put in the effort and the reality does not match the vision? What if it's harder than I imagined? What if I'm not good as I thought I would be? What if? What if? Or maybe it's just safer to just think about things. I mean, it's nice to imagine how great everything could be without having to face how things really are. In my mind, I've already conquered the world. I have written that book. I've started that business. I have done that marathon. So many things have happened in my head. But, I mean, if only thinking were the same as doing, that would be so amazing. But here I am. I'm sitting at my desk. I'm surrounded by a lot of notebooks that I've written in and sticky notes that I've crumpled up. And each one reminds me that I meant to do something, but I didn't. At this point, it's almost like my idea notebooks and my sticky notes are making fun of me because they are these reminders of all the things I said I'll do. I can't count how many times I have written start today only to cross it out and then write it again tomorrow and the next day after that and the next day after that. But oh God, it is so frustrating. I feel like I'm going to explode any second. Like I want to scream, I want to yell, I want to make something. I want to do anything to snap out of this constant thinking of something and then not doing it. But even the anger does not help. It's like being mad at a brick wall. It doesn't change anything. You just end up going to bed with a clenched jaw and you're angry at yourself. And you're angry that another day has passed and you're still in the same spot. You're still dreaming, still planning, still stuck. And then there's the guilt. Oh, the guilt, the guilt. The endless loop of I should be doing this and why haven't I done that? It is exhausting. Every time I think about it, there's this knot in my chest. There's this weight. Like I'm letting myself down. I know I am, and yet I stay here. I'm trapped in contemplation. And this voice just sneaks up on you when everything is quiet and it's telling you, oh, you're lazy. You talk big, but you never do anything, you know? And it says, oh, how many times have you promised yourself that tomorrow will be different? How many tomorrows have come? How many tomorrows have gone? And you try to ignore it, but it sticks to you, you know? It's always reminding you that you're not moving forward. And it's a very, very frustrating conversation with your mind, especially after a long day and all you want to do is just sleep. But let me ask this, yeah? You and I, that we can both relate. How much longer can we keep going like this? How many more days, weeks, months are we going to let pass by while we sit on the sidelines of our own life? Like, how many more times are we going to let fear stop us from taking that first step? Just this year alone, I think fear has stopped me like 5, 6 times. And how many more am I willing to take? How many more are you willing to take? There's always going to be something that seems to hold you back. The timing isn't right, or the conditions are not perfect, or maybe you just need a little more time to prepare. You keep convincing yourself that you're not ready, that you need just one more day, one more week. But deep down inside you, you know that you'll never feel ready. I mean, not if you keep waiting for some magical moment where everything will fall into place. Because everything is not going to fall into place. The wind is not going to blow in the direction of the flowers to land on your feet. It's not going to work like that. You know, if I'm being very honest, sometimes I wonder if I even want to do it. Like, maybe that's it. Maybe I don't really want it. And this endless thinking is just a way to avoid admitting that to myself. But then I remember how excited I was at the beginning, how passionate I felt, how much I wanted this. It felt so right, so clear. And I'm like, what happened to that feeling? Where did it go? Oh. Sometimes I imagine the person I could be if I was not an overthinker. If I was so sure of myself, I mean, she would be successful and so happy. And that person, I kind of see her standing far away, waving at me to join her. But when I look at how far away she is, it seems impossible to reach her. And I go back to hiding in my thoughts. But then I start to ask myself, and I want you to ask yourself as well, is this how this whole thing is going to go? I mean, life in general. Always starting things, but never finishing them. Will I always be the person who almost did something great? Oh my God. I just scared myself. That thought scares me more than anything. The thought of looking back one day and realizing that I never even gave myself a chance. Like, I did not like myself enough to give myself a chance. I don't want to look back and see a life full of missed chances and potential that has gone unfulfilled. I don't want to be the person who was always thinking of doing but never did. No. No, no, no. See, we can't let that happen, you know? There has to be a way to stop overthinking and start doing. There has to be a point when staying the same hurts more than the fear of changing. There has to be a point where you say, do I keep letting fear control me or do I push through it? Because, friend, this cannot go on forever. It cannot. And maybe that point is right now. Maybe it's time to put away the notebooks, to stop trying to plan the perfect first move and just do something. Something has to give. Something has to give. Either you take that step or you resign yourself to this stagnant existence, forever wondering what might have been. I suppose in the end it's a choice. Your choice. And I think maybe that's what scares me the most. The realization that it's all on me. Because no one else can make this decision for you. So there is no one to blame if it doesn't work out. No one else can take that first step. It's up to you and only you. Oh my God. So what are you waiting for? The perfect moment doesn't exist. The perfect plan, there will always be flaws. The perfect version of yourself, oh, she will never arrive. I have been waiting for the version of myself that can do this for 6 years. She must have missed her flight. All you have is now. That's what I'm saying. All you have is now, this moment, this opportunity. You can either seize it or let it slip through your fingers. Like so many others before it that you did not seize and they slipped through. Because you're not meant to stay in this place forever. You were not put on this earth to spend your life thinking about what you could do, what you might do. You're meant to act, you're meant to create, you're meant to take risks, you're meant to try and fail and try again. Because that's where life happens. Life does not happen in your mind. It happens out here in the messy, unpredictable, terrifying world. And yes, it is scary. Yes, you might feel. Yes, things might not go the way you planned. But what's the alternative, friend? Tell me. To keep living in this limbo, just floating, nothing changes, nothing happens. And what you're telling me, the alternative is to spend your life wondering what could have been if only you had had the courage to take that first step. That alternative does not sound very, it does not sound like a very interesting investment. That thing you've been thinking about doing, that project, that dream, oh gosh, this is so important to me. That goal that keeps nagging at you, that will not let you go. You have been putting it off. You have been telling yourself you'll get to it when you're ready, when the time is right. But let me tell you something, the time is never going to be right. It's never going to be right. You're never going to feel completely ready. So stop waiting to be ready. Stop overthinking. Stop letting fear control you. Take that first step. This is such an emotional subject for me because I know how it feels to be very crippled by fear. Take that first step, however small, however scary. Do something, anything. Because once you start, once you break out of this cycle of endless thinking, you'll find that the doing is not as hard as you thought. I mean, don't get me wrong, change is terrifying. And taking action means you have to leave the safety of your thoughts and face the real world. But isn't the pain of staying the same becoming unbearable? Because it's becoming unbearable for me. The weight of all those unfulfilled dreams is getting too heavy to carry. So I'm telling you right now, if you've been stuck in overthinking paralysis, you do not have to have it all figured out. You don't need a perfect plan or all the answers. All you need is the willingness to try. Do you love yourself enough to bet on yourself? Do you love yourself enough to try, to take that leap, to trust that you will figure it out along the way? So, what is the first step you're going to be taking to step out of a thinking trap? Let me know down below, and let's encourage each other. No more thinking about doing. It is time to do. So tell me, what will you do first?